What if every curse you've ever heard about was real, and you just broke one without knowing it? In the autumn of 2013, a woman named Renata Hollis inherited a small antique shop from her great-aunt, someone she had only met twice in her entire life. The shop sat at the edge of a quiet town in Vermont, filled with dust, old furniture, and shelves of objects nobody had touched in years. She didn't believe in curses, hauntings, or anything she couldn't hold in her hands and explain. She saw the shop as nothing more than free inventory and a fresh start. On her first day clearing out the back room, she found a locked wooden cabinet pushed into the corner, half hidden behind a stack of broken chairs. There was no key, just a small brass plate nailed to the front, with 4 words engraved into it: "Do not open this." She thought it was a marketing gimmick her great-aunt had used to make ordinary furniture feel valuable to customers. People love a mystery, she told herself. She pried the cabinet open with a crowbar that same afternoon. Inside there was only one object, a single ring tarnished black, sitting on a faded piece of velvet. No note, no history, no price tag. Just the ring, and beneath it, scratched into the wood by hand, a sentence that made her stomach tighten the moment she read it. "Whoever wears this carries what was taken from them." She told herself it was nothing. Old shops are full of strange trinkets with strange stories attached, and none of them mean anything. She slipped the ring onto her finger simply because it was sitting right there, and she was curious how old it actually was. That night, she dreamed of a woman she had never seen before, standing in a doorway, watching her sleep. She woke up and told herself it was just a dream, the kind anyone might have after spending a day surrounded by dusty old furniture and ghost stories. But the next night, the same woman was standing in the same doorway, closer this time. And the night after that, closer still. By the end of the first week, Renata noticed something that truly unsettled her. Every photograph she took on her phone, every single one, showed a faint shadow standing just behind her left shoulder. Not a reflection. A shape, with the outline of a woman, present in every frame, no matter where she stood or what room she was in. She finally went to a man in town, an old furniture restorer who had known her great-aunt for decades. When she described the ring, his face changed completely. He told her that her great-aunt hadn't run an ordinary antique shop. She had spent the last 20 years of her life collecting cursed objects from estate sales and auctions across the country, buying them specifically so she could lock them away where no one else would ever find them. The ring, he said, had a known history. It once belonged to a woman who had died under circumstances no one in town would fully explain, only that her death had been sudden, and that everything she once owned had been auctioned off within a single week, as if the people who knew her wanted nothing more than to erase any trace that she had existed at all. He told Renata to take the ring back to the cabinet immediately, seal it shut, and never open it again for the rest of her life. She did exactly that the same evening. She nailed the cabinet shut herself, hammering until her arms ached, and she has not gone near that back room since. The dream stopped 3 days later. The shadow in her photographs slowly faded over the following weeks until it disappeared completely. Renata still runs the shop today, but she has added her own rule to the business, one she repeats to every new employee on their very first day. Some items in this shop are not for sale, and some doors are not meant to be opened, no matter how curious you are or how harmless the silence behind them seems. She says the worst part isn't that the curse was real. It's that for 1 week of her life, she had no idea that something was watching her sleep. And the only reason she ever found out was because she finally bothered to look closely at her own photographs. If a story like this gives you chills, imagine inheriting a shop full of secrets like that, and not knowing which object is the dangerous one until it's already too late. Welcome back to Future Whispers, if this is your first time hearing one of these stories. And if it isn't, you already know exactly why these tales never leave you the same way they found you. Hit subscribe so you never miss the next one, and tell me in the comments, would you have opened that cabinet? Or would you have walked away the moment you read those 4 words?